All right, so today's lesson, we are going to be working on multiplying polynomials. So you have this Google Doc, either as a Google Doc or a Cami in your Google Classroom. And we are going to go through the teacher time examples. Once we go through that, you will then have some problems to work through on here. Remember, throughout these slide decks, there are also videos. So if you need to see another video, you can always go watch those within the slide decks. Okay, so I'm going to switch my screen over to our notes at this point. All right, so we have two methods that we're going to talk about with multiplying polynomials. Okay, one method that we have is box method. Okay, and then the other method will just be distribution. And it just doesn't matter what method you choose, you just choose the one you like the best and the one that works for you. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is box method. All right, for it, you take your polynomials, so 3x minus 2 and 4x plus 1. So I'm multiplying here because there is no sign in the middle. Okay, so right here, there's no sign. So this means to multiply. Okay, so I'm going to set up my problem by putting the first parentheses 3x minus 2 along the top, and then my next one I'm going to put it along the side. It does not matter which one goes where. I just always set mine up this way. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply to get the things inside the box. Okay, so when I multiply 4x and 3x, that answer will go here. So 4 and 3 multiplied together is 12. X times x, remember that's an x to the first, that's an x to the first. So that will be x squared. Okay, now I'm also going to multiply the 4x over here times this negative 2. So 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And then that x will just come along. Okay. So now I'm moving to the 1. So I'm multiplying 1 times 3x, and it will go here, which is just 3x. And then multiplying 1 times negative 2, and it will go down here at the bottom. So 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Okay. All right, so from here, you just want to look for your like terms. Okay, so my 12x squared, I do not have another x squared. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write that outside of the box. But my 3x, I have another x up here. So those right there are like terms, and I must combine those. Okay, so this is 3x minus 8x. 3 minus 8 will give you a negative 5x. And then the negative 2 will come to the end, and this is your final answer. Okay, so just to recap what I did, take each of your parentheses, set them along the top and along the side, multiply to get everything inside of the box, combine these two terms right here. These will be your like terms. Okay, and get your final answer. All right, so let's look at example 2. It says vertical multiplication. I'm going to stick with box on this one and show you how you can do box method with a little bit of a bigger problem. Okay, so I'm going to also do box method here. Just one more time, and then I will show you distribution. Okay, so this time, this one has 2 terms, and this one has 3 terms. Okay, so I'm going to need a box that is a little bit bigger than like the last one that we chose. Okay, I'm going to make it where it's a 2 by 3 this way. Okay, so 2 that way, 3 that way. Okay. right, so I'm actually going to put my x minus 3 over here along the side. So the x minus 3, I'm putting it along the side. The trinomial up here, I'm going to put it along the top. Each term gets its own set of boxes. Okay, so if you have to draw your own box, each term gets its own set. All right, so like this is the next to the first, so if you need to put that here and that here, you can do that. All right, so I'm multiplying now. So x times 2x to the second power. So that'll still be a 2, but it'll become an x to the third because you add the 1 and the 2. And then x times x will be x squared. And x times negative 1 will be a negative 1x. Okay, negative 3 times 2 will give me the negative 6. And then it has an x squared, so I'm going to bring it down. Negative 3 times x will be a negative 3x. And negative 3 times negative 1 will be a positive 3. All right, so now I want to look for my like terms so I can write out my answer. So 2x to the third. Is there another x to the third within inside the box? Okay, there's not, so I'm going to draw it out. All right, this negative 6x squared and this x squared, those are like terms. So that's essentially doing negative 6 plus 1. So that will be a negative 5x squared. Then you have another set of like terms right here. So negative 3x minus 1x, that's a negative 4x. And then the number at the bottom, my constant, will go here. And that will be my final answer for that. Okay, so let's take a look at distribution. So I'm going to flip over to example 3. All right, and show you distribution now. Okay, all right, so when you're going to do distribution, you have to distribute each term to each term in the other thing. So you're going to start with this first term and multiply it by the first one over here. Okay, so 2x squared times 4x. The 2 and the 4 become an 8. X squared times another x will be x to the third. Okay, and then now I'm going to multiply that same term, 2x squared times this negative 2. So the 2 and the negative 2 become a negative 4, and this will just stay an x squared. Okay. So that takes care of the top. I'm going to write the bottom in a different color. So now I've got to do 3 times 4x. 3 times 4 is 12, bringing the x with it. And then 3 times negative 2. 3 and negative 2, that is negative 6. So then you look for like terms. Okay, all of these have a different exponent, and that has no letter at all. Okay, so this would be your final answer for that problem. Okay, and then I'll do one more distribution with you, and then you can choose which method you prefer. All right, so I am going to do distribution here. So I have x squared, and I'm going to multiply it times x. X squared times x is x to the third. And x squared times negative 3 will be negative 3x squared. Okay. All right, now I've got to move on to the 2x. Okay. So I'm going to multiply 2x times x, which will give me 2x squared, and 2x times negative 3, which is negative 6x. All right, and then notice here I have one more number. Okay, so I'm going to have a few more arrows. It's going to be a lot. So I'm now going to do 4 times x, which is 4x, and 4 times negative 3, which will be negative 12. Okay? All right, I have two different sets of like terms here. So I have those that are like terms, and I have those that are like terms. Okay? So I'm going to bring down this x to the third. Then here, negative 3 plus 2, that'll give me a negative x squared. Negative 6x plus 4x is negative 2x. And then bring down the minus 12. Okay, so that is both methods here. You can do box method, you can do distribution. I'm going to have you do a little bit of both on some of your practice problems, but from then on, I don't care which method you choose. You choose what's easiest for you.